Hey guys, how's it going? Just wanted to talk to you guys about a game that I've been playing a lot lately. Mostly because it was a free trial. It was on a free trial sort of period for about 10 days, and then it became a paid for game. Unless you are on Xbox or PC, which I believe it is tied to Xbox Game Pass. I could be wrong on the PC side. I personally have been playing it on Xbox through Xbox Game Pass. I believe it's also on PC. So the game we're talking about is Knockout City. I'm sure you could have seen it from the title and the thumbnail and all that, so it's not surprising that I'm talking about Knockout City in any capacity. And I think all I really wanted to say is, if you have any kind of interest in playing any kind of multiplayer game, at the moment, I would say that Knockout City is probably one of the best multiplayer games to release this year. It's extremely fun, and it is extremely good. Now, unfortunately, by the time this video would reach you guys, Knockout City would be, I believe, $20. Again, unless you are a subscriber of Xbox Game Pass, you can just install it. But the game is available on PlayStation family systems, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PC. It's pretty much on like every platform that you can possibly play games on that is considered popular in some capacity or another. But if you've never played Knockout City, I'll give you a very basic rundown. Imagine you're playing essentially dodgeball. It's essentially just a video game equivalent of dodgeball. You have teams of 3v3. There are some modes where it can vary with like 4v4, maybe even 1v1. But for the most part, like I would say it's 3v3. You pick up some balls, you throw them at each other, and first to 10 knockouts wins. Again, it does vary depending on the mode. There is another diamond mode, but I'm gonna just give you the basic rundown, and that's kind of it. Now there are other mechanics to kind of keep things fresh and more exciting. For instance, you can turn into a ball yourself and have your teammates throw you, and if you happen to hit another player with a player ball, you pretty much knock that guy out instantly, right? Typically you have 2 hearts, and they basically just count as like per hit. So if you get hit by a ball and you have 2 hearts, you lose 1 heart, and now you're down to your last one. And that kind of is just the gist of it. You take 2 hits, then you're out, you're knocked out. That team gains a point, and you keep going until the team hits their goal, right? In terms of the number of knockouts it needs to hit. And it doesn't sound like it's gonna be the most exciting game. And honestly, I was interested in the game when I first saw it, but I wasn't like hyped for the game. And then I played it, I installed it, I played it, I spent a lot of time on it, and now it's probably one of my most played games at the time of this recording. Like, it's actually insanely addicting and fun, and I was actually really surprised that I got this into it. So I would highly recommend that if you have access to the game, to definitely give it a shot. I think, again, if you're someone who really enjoys playing multiplayer games, it's really fun. There's also even more mechanics that I didn't even touch. Like, there are ways you can curve the ball by throwing it. You can lob the ball. You can do kind of like a feint throw or a fake throw, where you could pretend to throw a ball, but you don't actually throw it just so you can catch them off guard. You can pass the ball to other players, so that way people on your team can be able to throw like their balls like super fast. You charge up the balls to throw them fast. There's a lot of things that really do happen in this game, but if you really just break it down to its most, I guess, purest form, it's essentially just a video game equivalent of dodgeball. And honestly, thinking about it, all the years of playing video games, and myself, I play a lot of multiplayer centric games. I play a lot of single player games as well. I'm not somebody who just only plays multiplayer, but like I play a good, I played a good majority multiplayer. Like, a lot of games that I've enjoyed have been multiplayer games. And I'm actually just kind of surprised that there hasn't really been a good dodgeball game before this point. I mean, there probably has been, and I'm just unaware of it. And I'm sure, I'm sure if somebody watching this video knows about those games, they would comment down below. And please do, if you do know another game that kind of predates Knockout City that is a dodgeball game, feel free to comment down below. It just feels like, to my knowledge, anyways, that Knockout City is the first, if not one of the first, games that has a kind of dodgeball setting that is this popular. I don't really remember another game really doing this before, and it's good. It's really good. I think the music is good, the gameplay is solid. It can be pretty frustrating at times, but you know, I haven't had moments where I felt like it was unfair, right? If I messed up, let's say I lost the game really badly, it's typically like because of reasons. Maybe my team is not coordinating as well, or maybe I didn't catch the ball. A lot of the time, I was just, you know, not on my game, right? It doesn't really feel unfair a lot of the time. It feels very fair. If I get completely stomped down by another crew, typically it usually is my fault. I'll get frustrated, I'll complain, but for the most part, it feels fair. It really does feel fair, and I don't really have like too many situations where, you know, I play the game and it's, you know, the game bugging out or something like that. Some might argue with me on that, and you know what? I think that's understandable. We all have different ideas of what, you know, counts as a fair multiplayer game, but there hasn't really been a lot of instances I personally felt where the game slighted me or bugged out or whatever the case may be. It just feels like it takes some time to get used to learn the mechanics and really understand what you're doing. But for the most part, it's actually a pretty fair game, I would say. I've had some very interesting games where matches are extremely close. I've had games where I have, you know, caused sudden death, where both teams hit the hit the score goal like at the same time. So we had to, you know, next point wins kind of situation. I had a situation where I ended up playing against another YouTuber by the name of H2O Delirious, who was kind of it was kind of funny how that happened. And now some stuff's going on with him, and I don't know what's going on. I know there's some drama there, but I don't want to get into that in this video. But it was just like a lot of very interesting situations in Knockout City that has just been a ton of fun, and I'm actually really, really surprised with how much I like it. So I guess that's kind of like all I really have to say about the game. It's a good dodgeball game. It feels fair. It's on all systems. Like if you own some kind of platform that plays video games, there's a very likely chance you have access to Knockout City in some capacity. Now, I do want to warn, because I know this is the sort of thing that can bother some people. The game does, in fact, have microtransactions by a currency known as Holobucks, which you can use to like purchase like cosmetics for your character that you have in the game. However, I will say that in my personal opinion, I feel that the microtransactions of Knockout City is not intrusive. I feel like I will never find myself in a situation where it feels like it makes sense to do so, because a lot of the items in the shop are pretty cheap. Like, they don't require a lot of the premium currency in the game, and then as you're leveling and playing the game, they give you a good amount of that premium currency. In fact, if you play competitive, which is like league play, like a ranked online mode, by the end of the season, they also give you more of that premium currency. So you don't even have to, like, you know, do much to get it yourself. And I know right now I have over 1,000 of those Holobucks, and I've never put a single dime into this game. And I don't have anything I want to do with them. Like I have so much of them, and there's nothing I want to buy them with. So the microtransactions, I guess, just doesn't feel very good to me. Like, it doesn't feel like it's, you know, intrusive in any way. So I guess that's kind of all I have for you guys today. So, you know, comment down below if the game looks interesting at all. Maybe you've been playing it. If you have, how well have you been doing? Have you been winning your games? Have you taken some L's? You know, we're all human. We all take L's, and I definitely have taken a lot of L's, and that has really annoyed me sometimes. But let me know how you guys feel about the game, and until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Shifty, yeah, Shifty, wanna be the #1 gamer, come and get me. It'd be dope if you subscribe, could you like the vid, please? Take your time, you don't gotta do it swiftly. Shifty, Shifty, wanna be the #1 gamer, come and